Let's see. We have to move it over a little bit. I felt like it was over too much. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here, girl. Down here, doing our thing, living our life like it's golden. I think I might change these glasses. I'm not sure yet. I have the other pair over here near me, so we'll see how I feel. But right now, I'm feeling the black frames right now. So what is going on, y'all? I have no idea what's going on. I have a video I have to edit. I was just like, after I premiered this video, the video that y'all just saw, the Candy and Todd video, there was another video to edit, and I just did not edit it. And it's just like, I watched time pass. I was just like, oh, look at the time go. I could have edited that video. I could have edited that video. I really could have. But sometimes I get tired of hearing myself talk, believe it or not. I'd be like, girl, shut up. So I don't like to like be editing back to back videos back to back. I get tired of hearing myself talk, honestly, truly, believe it or not. Like I scrapped a video last week because the way it was talking, but the mic was too loud, so it was like kind of getting feedback, and I was just like, "Girl, shut up!" And I just scrapped the whole video. Girl, shut up. So I was down here. I was gonna I wanted to do my little. I had to find my little cuticle. My little cuticle. What do you call it? Brush. My little oil in it. Get my cuticles soft. Come on, soft cuticles. So, girl, what is going on? I have no idea what's going on in the world today. I don't know what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She jumped ship. She don't want to be aligned with they finally crossed some boundaries and principles that she had that were non-negotiable. Did they finally have some issues come up with those men and you didn't want to be involved with them? I think she has an issue with the files and these men being in the files. I'm not sure. It's stupid for her to act like she didn't know those men were in the files, girl. You know that you know those men. You know how they talk around you. You know how um ornery and rude they are. So, girl, yeah, no. Now, 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 now. No, no. No. So I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with Marjorie Taylor Greene and her face. I haven't been keeping. I need some different bracelets for this side, but so I don't even know what's going on, y'all. I have no idea. This is better. I think this is better. I have no idea what's going on. I have some reefer here to roll up that I left in the tray last night that I was going to roll up. I was watching something about Charles Manson. He actually had a really nice voice, because when he first went up to that the Cilio house, when he first went up to that house, the Beach Boys, that's where he like kind of got hooked up with the Beach Boys. And the Beach Boys even sang one of Charles Manson's songs. And the Beach Boy, the main Beach Boy, I can't remember his name, not Miller, I can't remember his last name, but they took that song and put their names on it, and it was really Charles Manson's song. And he was singing some other song. The documentary was called Chaos, and they basically were trying to suggest that Charles Manson was he not an informant. What do they call when they work for the government? An agent, but he didn't really understand that he was an agent, like being used. MK Ultra, yeah. And so that was the angle, was that he was, because the way that they committed the murders at the Sharon Tate and them, and then the LaBiancas, they committed those murders, but they didn't really do anything, right? They acted like those two cases were not related, even though they both wrote on the wall with blood. They both wrote pig, and they were not moving fat. The law enforcement was not moving fast enough, so it gave people the idea. Hold on. So yeah, that's what I watched last night, and so I was smoking some reefer watching this documentary on yet another documentary on Charles Manson, because they were fascinated that he was able to get these people under some kind of mind control to, do what he basically told them to do, and not feel any remorse about it, and just follow him with these, like, you're not thinking for yourself. And they were fascinated with how Charles Manson was able to get people to do what he did. And that's the reason why he was in jail, because it was like, how did you do that? You're that dangerous to get people to actually commit these acts, and these crimes. And all he was doing was giving them drugs, and then while they were in an altered state, he would feed them his philosophies on things. So they saw him as Charles Manson, I think, was like 5'2". Um, hey Siri, how tall is Charles Manson? Charles Manson was 5'2". 5'2". Yep. He was 5'2", a little shorty, a little lollipop guild. Thank you. He was a part of the lollipop guild, and people were listening to him. So they said that the government was like trying to figure out, like, who is this guy? How does he get, people to follow him? And then one of the people they were interviewing, they were like, when you met Charles Manson, he was like, you can feel the electricity coming off of his body. They said he was very charismatic. People were drawn to him. And I was just thinking about him, and I was just thinking about him, and thinking about Puffy, and thinking about all of these people who harm people, right? So like, we have one side, we have, you know, the, dealing with the light, or dealing with the darkness. But I feel like all of us are given and provided gifts. And it's just, so like, you can always use Star Wars as a great template, but you are given gifts, and either some people deny their gifts, right, and they never tap into what their gifts are. I feel like everyone has been given gifts, because we're all extensions of the source. And so we all have gifts. Some of us lean into it, some of us reject it, right? A lot of people reject it, and they look for things outside of themselves, not realizing that the power is really all within them. And so what happens is, you get these people who have been given their gifts, and instead of using their gifts for good, they use them for bad. And then that's where you get these men and women who are magnetic and charismatic, and they know what their gifts are, and they decide to use their gifts for bad. I remember when I was in elementary school, the teacher told my mom, she's a great leader. We just need her to lead them in the right direction. But I'm not somebody that's going to go in the direction of the status quo. I'm going to be like, let's go that way. We're going the opposite direction. So that's what my teacher told my mom. I think I was like 8 years old. I think I was in the third. Yeah, it was 8 years old. It was right before the fourth grade, because I remember my teacher from the fourth grade, Mr. Lou. Man, I tell you, we terrorized that man. I remember one time we had a potluck. It was in the fourth grade. We used to break in his classroom. Remember cheese sticks with the cheese and crackers, and the little red stick that they would put in there, and then you could use it to spread the cheese on your crackers. Y'all remember that? We used to take those little red things and put them in between the door and the wall, and open the locks in the classrooms in elementary school. I'll tell you, we used to break in Mr. Lou's class. He's my fourth grade teacher, and he's an Asian man. and he wore white every day. He wore white every single day. And I remember one time we had a potluck, and his girlfriend, this white woman, she had this girlfriend, she made spaghetti. Girl, she made spaghetti, and she had the spoon, and she was serving the spaghetti. And at one point, she took the spoon and licked the entire spoon. When I tell you, the entire class turned on that lady. Somebody was like, ew, she licked the spoon. It was a wrap. She was so embarrassed. She was so embarrassed. I'm like, why would you lick the spoon, lady? Well, oh my gosh, she licked the spoon. I remember he got into a fight with Joshua. I don't want to say Joshua's last name because he has a very distinct last name. I have never met another person with his last name, so I will not say his last name. But I wonder where Joshua is today. Joshua and Mr. Lou got into a fight, and so did Steven. Steven also has a distinctive last name. I won't say his last name either, but Steven got into a fight, Joshua got into a fight, and I think Lewis got into a fight with Mr. Lou. And he was really like one of the only male teachers. We had a few male teachers. Most of them were like what do you they were like teachers assistants, like teachers aides. And so they monitoring the playground and stuff like that. But yeah, fourth grade, I tell you, we used to terrorize Mr. Lou. So it was the third grade, because I remember that teacher we had all that year. Miss Laura was our teacher, but I don't know what was going on with her. I don't know if she had a baby. It was something going on with her where she was like we had substitutes like almost the entire school year, because Miss Laura, and then it was an Asian teacher, and she told my mom that she's like she's a really, like, the kids listen to her, but she has to lead them in the right direction. Listen to me. I was 8 years old, breaking into classrooms and stuff. Or we used to break in Mr. Lou's classroom, and Miss Rojas, she was my fifth and sixth grade teacher. She's the one that she was lesbian, baby. When I tell her she was drilling us. When I think about the things that she used to talk to us about, baby, I'll tell you she was drilling us with feminist ideas, drilling it into us. She taught. We had, when they have in elementary school, when they have those classes where they talk about your body, right? And so they separate the boys and the girls. They talk to the boys about their body, they talk to girls about their body. So we all had this this sheet, a long sheet of paper with our bodies, with a body on it, like a silhouette of a body. And so we were going through putting where all of our organs were, right? And then we got to the reproductive organs. Miss Rojas, it was the sixth grade, she taught us how to get familiar with ourselves. She sure did. She taught us, like, she was like, get on the side of the toilet, put your leg on top of the bathtub, get a mirror, and look at look at everything. She taught us that in the sixth grade. Look at everything. And as I was growing up, I always thought it was weird that there were some women to this day, grown women, who have never taken a mirror and looked down at their panocha. Never. And I couldn't understand it, because that was something I was introduced to in the sixth grade. I knew what the fuck what I was working with. She taught us how to get familiar with ourselves, and told us what everything was supposed to do. Told us that our clitoris had nothing to do with reproduction. Girl, when I tell you, she was telling us all kind of stuff. She was a Latina lesbian, Miss Rojas. Yep, she gave us all the information. Sure did. Fifth and sixth grade. I'll never forget her. I'll never forget her, because she was the one that really, like, my mom didn't tell me to go look at my pussy. Did your mom's? My mom, when I tell you, it used to infuriate me the way my mom used to act like prudish about when it was time to talk about sex or anything like that. That's, I don't understand. Like, when I was watching ClarrisaShields and Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp was interviewing her, and he was asking her very personal questions about having sex before competing. And she was, the way that they like were hemming and hawing. First of all, this is a 60-year-old man talking to a barely, how old is Clarissa Shields? Maybe 31, maybe not even 31. Hey Siri, how old is Clarissa Shields? 30 years old, and you have her age talking to her about performing. Now I understand the question, right? Like, do you how is your performance? How well do you box if you just recently had sex? I get that. But I felt like it was inappropriate to ask her that. I understand the question, but I feel like you old dirty old man, nasty old dirty old man humping on a 19-year-old and you almost 60 years old. Don't ask me no questions about sex, you fucking weirdo. That's how I felt about it. But even the way that they were talking about it, she referred to having sex as doing the grown up. You're 30. You're grown up. You're grown up. So you can say having sex. If you don't want to say having sex, having relations. I mean, like, there are ways that it baffles me, and I heard Iyanla say it, and I'll never forget it. But it baffles me how preoccupied with sex a lot of human beings are. But when it's time to talk about sex, y'all want to use nicknames and pet names for your genitalia, and you can't. It's almost like you can't really talk about it, and it's almost like, ooh, we can't really talk about this, but y'all fucking. So why can't we talk about sex? And I always found it weird that with a group of people that are people who are preoccupied with sex, they find it difficult to have conversations about sex. I remember Iyanla saying one time that people who are on the lower income scale have a lot of sex because sex is really the only place where they feel like they have some power. When I will never forget that. She was like, that's why broke people have a lot of sex, because they don't feel powerful anywhere else, and sex is the only place where they feel powerful. And then learning how men equate their penis to like a gun or a sword or something like that, and how they want to run around stabbing everybody with their sword and not really even be able to talk about sex. But you want to have a lot of it, but you can't really actually verbalize or intellectualize the conversation about sex. It's always very surface. It's always very, selfish, surface and selfish. It's like you can't even really talk about. I wish I could find that clip of Shannon Sharpe and ClarrisaShields talking, so I can give you an example of what I'm talking about. Here, let me see if I can find it, because I did post it. I posted it on Twitter. Girl, when I tell you I hollered. Okay, so I'm not reviewing Potomac, but I have been watching episodes here and there. So I watched I, the last episode. I did I finish watching the whole thing? I don't know if I finished watching the whole thing. I think I wanted just to see the part that everybody was talking about, where Stacey was pointed at Cookie Monster, and she pointed at her and she was like, don't point your finger at her. And then she was like, I said, that's some shit Kenya would do. And then she told Giselle, move over a second, move over so I can get closer. She's like, here's my finger right here. I was like, get her. What I've noticed and what I've seen, apparently Stacey is a liar, a stone cold liar. And I think she lies because she's taking this job on the Real Housewives of Potomac with not much serious. Like, she's so unserious. She really is. She's from Detroit too. Shout out to Chris Diggy. He told me she was from Detroit, just like Kenya. Because I was like, that's some shit Kenya would do. Point at the girl, and the girl was like, so Wendy said, if Monique said if Cookie's around, she's going to be bad mouthing her. She did it. Don't you point your finger at me. And she was like, she did it again, pointed 2 times. And then she was like, you better get your finger out my face and stuff. Then she told Giselle, move over a second so I can get closer. I can point. See, here it is right here. Here's my finger again. You told me don't point my finger. I can point anywhere I want to point my finger. What you gonna do, Cookie? Big Cookie, big oatmeal cookie looking ass. Girl, get your ass up out of here. She told her you need to take a bath with your funky ass. That's what she told Stacey. I think Cookie Monster likes Chris. That's what I think. You know those women that like to they stay in proximity of a man and act like he's my friend, he's my friend, he's my friend. But any woman come around here, you snarling and drooling at the mouth, because that's what it's giving. It's giving that you have a crush on Chris. That's what it gives. Big boy. Isn't that what Giselle called him? Big boy. And then, how do you get past somebody standing in your face calling your ex-husband Pastor Holy Whore? Y'all got past that? Woo! Okay, let me find that clip. Let me find that clip of so I could tell you, so I could see, so I could tell you what it's talking about. Girl, and I tell you, I would have beat that lady up. They showed this lady running around pouring bleach into a street vendor's food supply. They said that lady got arrested and was fired. Hold on, let me see. Let me find this clip of that was when Whitney, don't point your finger at me, and Whitney was like, she was like, don't point your finger at me, and she was like this. Girl. Hold on, let me find it. Because I said it. I was like, I don't understand how people are so preoccupied with sex, but when it's time to talk about sex, y'all are like so so scary. Oh, here it is.
Yeah. Are you about sex question? Yeah. Do they tell you y'all can't do that? I don't know what the other women do, but I stay away from sex 6 weeks before the fight. So like a male fighter, they can't have none, so you can't get none either. That what you? I mean, you tell yourself. Have you always felt like that? I know other girls who do it the day before, they be having their little sex and stuff. Me, I'm not doing that. For me, was it little sex stuff, whatever y'all want to call it? That makes me feel really relaxed and
that little sex stuff or whatever you want to call it. Listen, keep listening. That little sex stuff, it's almost like she's uncomfortable to talk about. I don't know, maybe because a man is old enough to be your grandfather. Girl, at least old enough to be your daddy, talking to you, be interested in if you have sex or not. Like, I understand the question because it does compromise your ability. It does hinder your physical agility when it's time to fight or play a sport or something like that, basketball, whatever. They tell them not to have sex because it will decrease their performance levels. So let's finish listening.
And really calm. Yeah. You don't want to feel calm. No, when you got a pit bull on your ass, you want to know how to run. you gotta be able to get that. You gotta be able to run. Right. No, like it really does take something out your legs. Yeah. To me, so it's like 6 weeks. Maybe that's why I be so mean and angry. Yeah. Because 6 weeks without none, and then you just gotta go in there and fight. But hey, I feel good. I'm in my millions. I feel better being healthy. I feel a lot stronger not doing it. Okay. Not doing it. So how was that trial and error? Did you have to know, was the situation like, man, I felt sluggish. No, that ain't happening no more. I just didn't feel because a lot of times as an athlete, it's trial and error. What works to be how much to train, how much to lift, how much to run, how much to eat, how much sleep do I get? All of it's trial and error, and then you fine tune it and you get it down to a science. Yeah, you find what works for you. Yep. Well, unlike other people, I didn't start doing that stuff till I was 17. Okay.
I didn't start doing that stuff until I was 17. What stuff are you talking about, sweetie? Are you talking about sex? You didn't start having sex until you were 17. So say that. I didn't start doing that stuff. It's like she doesn't want to say the word sex. It's very weird.
I won the Olympics. So before then, I never even fooled around anyway. Right. Okay. So now that I'm grown or teenager, whatever you want to call it, now, I'm in the gym constantly every day too. So coach wants to spar 2 or 3 times a week. So I realized that when I come to the gym and I've been doing that grown people stuff. I'm a bit more tired.
And then Shannon says being mannish. So having sex is being mannish? Right, because you're not really included in the sex when they're having sex with you. You're just the mattress. Right? So him when she talks about having sex, he says being mannish, doing the grown up, doing what grown people do, and he says being mannish. Where's the woman in the sex? You're talking to a woman, and you're telling her having sex is being mannish. Yeah, because they don't include you when they're having sex with you. You're not even there, and there's so many ways they tell you.
Yes. I can't fight as hard. And guess who noticed it? Coach. He noticed it. He like, hold on, what you doing? What you did last night? Excuse? Yeah, coach, and so like I said, Jason used to call me out in front of everybody because I was like his daughter. So he called me out. Oh, Rex, you look like shit today. You've been out there fooling around. I could tell. You need to stop doing all that. Damn. Like, put your business out on blast like that? Yeah, Jason was like that. Oh my goodness. And at the time it was very embarrassing because it was like, this is new to me. Nobody even know I do this stuff. Right. Anyway, it's telling everybody my business. But I just know like he was right though. It does make you sluggish and tired. And I feel way more sharper when I'm not. And for me, I spar against men getting ready for fights. Okay. So it's like these men coming there fast and strong and sharp. I got to be on my A game, and the last thing I want to leave me is my damn legs. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't really fool around like that. That's Cold Shannon to get fit.
I said it baffles me how so many people are so preoccupied with sex, but when it comes to talking about sex, it's a lot of stuttering and using words to describe it as if you're a child. It always baffles me. Some of the comments said, "Damn, so not having sex really does work." Biggest myth in the book still being perpetuated. I don't care what nobody say. I like her. When a woman talks like this, you know she's wholesome. She's calling sex grown people stuff. He's equating her not being able to verbalize having sex like a child to being wholesome. Some people find that restraint builds strength because mind and body respond to focus, and what feels like a release can also take energy away when it's needed the most. She's very likable when she talks about her craft, not some imaginary beef or insult no one made or someone's husband she stole. That's real discipline. Most fighters swear they're locked in. Meanwhile, Clarissa out here giving up the ultimate distraction just to keep that killer instinct sharp. If sex makes you calm, cool, and relaxed, then yeah, save it for the win. Oh, on fight night, you don't want to be calm. You want danger, pressure, legs that don't fold. When a pit bull is coming for you, you don't need romance. You need rage. This woman talks like she's 15. No shade to her, but now I'm seeing Papoose in a totally different light. Someone needs to protect her and her money. She's a woman and as soft as hell when at home. She's tough for the cameras because she boxes. I didn't say anything about being hard or soft. I never heard her talk before, and she represents a very young-minded. So I'm confused on why Papoose is with her and feel like he might be using her for money. Somebody said like Mike Tyson. Somebody said yes. My theory of being hit in the head very young affects their speech because both of them started around 11 years old. That's exactly what she sounds like. It's why I'm worried she might be taken advantage of. It seems odd for them to be a couple when he seems much more emotionally mature than her. He's also much more older than her. She's 30 years old. I think Papoose is almost 50 years old. Hey Siri, how old is Papoose the rapper? Papoose is 47. 47 years old. You got a man 17 years older than you. Thank you. And she talks like that. That's what I'm saying. Getting hit in the head and all that shit. Oh yeah. You talking like something is not. That's what I'm saying. You always have to take into account about them getting hit. Um let's see. Okay, I mean, let me go to the blogs. Y'all let me know about that. That's just something that I had that I thought about when listening to Clarissa, listening to Clarissa and Shannon. All right, let's see what's going on. What is Beyonce talking about? Call me when you want to get hot, 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 hot. 20, 40, 80 out the trap. Hit it with the rap. Put it on the map. Call me when you want to get Tony Montana with the double G's on a dash. Nigga, I'm back. Tia Kim says it was a mistake for JT to respond to Cardi's diss track and may have tarnished her brand. It didn't work. Okay, this is, yeah, that's D. Oh, okay, so she's interviewing people. She's interviewing Tia Kim. And I tell you, I love when Tia Kemp calls. So Tia Kemp is Rick Ross's baby mother. They have grown kids. I think her son is in college now. Um, People give Tia Kemp, because she cusses so well. She cusses these niggas out really well. People give Tia their baby father's telephone number, and she calls them and cusses them out and tells them to send more money. Don't put your hands on her. You need more money than that. Oh, hold on. A little thing came on. It's trying to the battery. Hold on. Ouch. What time is it? Oh shit. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Hold on. Girl, there's too much shit going on. Let me put this so I don't spill this. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right. I was talking about Tia Kemp and how she wears the people out, but she was talking about JT should not have responded to Cardi, and then when it's somebody's time, you just let them have their time. And I feel the same way. I feel like her like coming out trying to like, okay, she dissed you. Um, you come out with a diss track, it like nobody's listening to it. Nobody thinks it's great except for people who don't like her. They're going to say whatever anybody puts out against her is great, so it doesn't matter. But JT was performing the other day somewhere, and she stopped the performance because nobody was feeling it. Nobody was giving her the energy back that she was giving out. So she stopped the show. Sure did. I was like, "Ooh, JT, that's not good. That's not good, Buki. You can't do that. You can't just stop a show." I was like, that's crazy. She got mad because the people weren't giving her what she was giving them, I guess, and they were just like, "Girl, we over it." And then she was like, "I don't know if she said, I don't know if I'm a YN or an OG." Girl, it's so funny because I think it's pure comedy when these girls talk shit about, being a certain age, and it's like, you're not a YN, JT. I think JT is like 30 years old. Um, so this is too big, way too big. Um, yeah, I feel like it was a misstep responding to Cardi. Like whoever pumped you up to respond to her, they kind of led you the wrong way. Um, Girl, please. Um, okay, I don't know what that's about. Okay. All right. Monique Samuel gets licked on by former radio show co-host Jason Wims. Oh, okay. Is that her little boyfriend? She has a little boyfriend. They say he's married. On June 27th, 2024, he put that he was a 15th wedding anniversary just last year, and he's licking on Monique this year. Monique and Jason on Washington's WPGC, the Good Morning Show. Says Monique is back outside. She's seen getting pretty cozy with her former radio co-host, comedian Jason Wims. Junior social users wasted no time digging up his past. What are your thoughts? Right. Doing all this after she just lied in our faces last week. This is why Monique works people's nerves so inauthentic. I was like, yeah, she's still over there giving tight. Like, her mouth is like real tight around the corners, really giving real tight mouth around the corners. I don't know. I saw her on the episode that I watched at the beginning. She was at the beginning and they were trying to make it seem like anybody talking to Chris would have been a problem. She's like, girl, I was in that marriage for image. And when my daughter was 6 months old is when I said I wanted to get out of this relationship. Mind you, her daughter is the second child and she had a third child, right? So she said when her daughter was 6 months old, she was ready for the marriage to be over. Her daughter's 8. And she said being on the show bought her marriage some time because she was so busy fighting with them, she really couldn't focus on fighting with him. That's what Monique said. And so the girl Karina, she brought it up that Stacey was talking to Chris, and I'm so glad Monique was like, "Girl, yeah, we've been divorced 2 years. I hope he's dating somebody. I hope if that's what he wants to do, he's out there dating. That don't make me none." And the girl was like, "Oh, yeah, y'all really thought y'all was gonna get Stacey." That's the one thing I was saying about Stacey. She's so unserious, and everything they keep coming at her for, she's just like, whatever, like whatever. That's stupid. They were saying that her breath stank. Now this lady, Cookie Monster, said that she need to take a bath. She lied about she lied on the episode when her the British girl, I can't remember her name. She invited Stacey and her husband. She invited them for like a double date, and then he said he was leaving tonight. And then the next day when she talked to them, she said he was coming in that night. So what did he do, a turnaround? Like what, Stacey? Like she be lying, but I think it's almost like she's just lying about, like she just says anything. You know how those people, there's some people that you will ask them a question, they'll just say anything, they'll just tell you anything they want to tell you. It don't even be the truth. It's just whatever. I'm just saying whatever. See if you take it or not. That's what Stacey gives me. They've been finding clips of her. I don't know how old the clips are, but she was on QVC with the guy that she was with last season. How many seasons is this her second season? They kept calling her a liar, kept saying she was a liar. But now Monique is on there, and so now they're trying to get Monique and her to get into it because I guess the girl, she said she met Chris socially and that they're just social friends and she wasn't trying to date him or anything. But then after Monique, she said that they hadn't been having sex or something like that, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna have sex again with him, see how I feel. And then she was like, after it was over, it was almost like I was just a piece of meat. I was like, it wasn't anything fulfilling. And I told him, you will never enter me again. That's what Monique said she told Chris. And I tell you, y'all be maids, mules, and mattresses. These men just lay on you and use your body to masturbate. They don't give a fuck about you and how you feel. And then they want you to be folding their parachute drawers, folding their drawers. You a maid, you a mattress, and you a mule. You're doing everything, all the emotional labor, planning, all. They showed a clip of Monique saying, I'm getting tired of planning all of the things that we do. Like, you don't do anything. And it's like, where did you learn that from? And furthermore, why do you think it's okay to operate like that in a relationship where you see the woman doing all of this labor, right? Because you don't actually see her. You don't see a human being, you see a machine. That's why I answer my own fucking question. That's why they don't give a fuck. I'm gonna use your body to masturbate. You gonna fold my fucking clothes, and you gonna plan everything that goes on around here. You wanted to be married to a man with money. You want to have the image of you, this man, and you with this man, and you want to show your ring off. Bitch, you gonna have to work for room and board and an allowance. Ooh, I can never. And to me, it's not even a flex. It's not. It really isn't, because you really are signing up to be in service. And then they got the girls lying to them. It just comes natural. Girl, shut the fuck up. Jasmine Brown is learning that. Everything she despised, she became. Oh God, that's a mess. Everything she cracked jokes about, she actually became that. I wonder how she feels about that. And it's so funny how everybody is talking, everybody has conversations with Jasmine, but nobody asks her about her describing who she is now. I would ask her, I would show her this video of her saying, and you gonna get, and your ass gonna get played. Stop acting like you're a natural caregiver and this and that. Oh, it just comes natural to me, and your natural ass is just gonna get played. That's what she said. And she is embodying the very thing that she made fun of. I would show her that video and I would ask her, who is that? What was going on with her? And how is she so different from the woman sitting before me? Because everything you described in this video, with the sarcasm, with the jokes, you are actually embodying that very thing that you described. So, what happened between the time you were talking shit to the time you became what you were talking shit about? I'll wait. What are we talking about, Jasmine? The girls will get out of it. They'll slowly get out of it. Listen, I'm happy for anybody who gets a new boo. Can't wait till Jesus sends mine. So two divorced ex-co-workers found each other. Why is everybody confused? So from his 15th wedding anniversary, just a year and 5 months ago, he's already gotten a divorce after 15 years of marriage. He got a divorce after 15 years, and he was just wishing anniversary on June 27th, 2024. Interesting. I wonder what was the divorce about. Imagine loving someone for over 20 years. The way that women are socialized to be in relationships are not the way that men are socialized to be in relationships. Hold on, I want y'all to hear Shera say it. Shera7, hold on. Just because you were brainwashed. The only reason you feel guilty is because you were brainwashed to feel guilty. And these men, they were taught to lie. They were taught to tell you what you need to hear so they can get what they want from you and roll around the mattress. You were taught to be honest and tell the truth. I wonder who told y'all that. You feel guilty for lying to a liar. Let that sink in. You feel guilty for lying to a liar that just wants to get you to the mattress. You ever heard the term all is fair in love and war? Or never play fair in an unfair world? Why do you think that in the world of dating, in the world of marriage, in the world of love, why do you think that women are the most heartbroken? Because y'all are watching romance, rom-com, fairy tales, and men are not. Men are taught something totally opposite of what you're taught. You're taught to be stupid. You're living in a fantasy world. They're not watching none of that crap unless you make them watch. They're not watching that. You're sitting over there watching romance, and they're sitting over there typing in on the computer with some tissues and lotion. Y'all are watching two separate things. And you're walking into that date, into that relationship with these dumb expectations of rom-com Disney movies. He's going in there thinking about rolling around the mattress because that's what he's watching. So y'all are on two different mindsets. And then you feel guilty for lying to this man when the first thing he told you was probably a lie to get you on the mattress. You never play fair in an unfair world. You've been programmed very differently from men. Okay? So you need to start thinking about that. You think a man would feel guilty if he stopped talking to you, or if he dumped you, or if he ghosted you, if you told him that you don't plan on sleeping with him? You think he would feel guilty for saying, no, I'm so sorry, I can't date you because you're not going to roll around on the mattress with me?
No, they would not feel guilty at all because that's the only reason that they were there in the first place. So if you want to go ahead and keep feeling guilty about telling guys what they need to know on a need to know basis, using your creative flair to get what you want out of the situation, then I'm so sorry for you. But you never play fair in an unfair world, ma'am. That's how you lose. Only reason.
Well, I tell you, they approach every relationship with a tinge of deception because their goal is a transaction, and the transaction, the end goal is to get your pussy and your pocketbook and extract some type of resource or energy from you. That is what his goal is. And women are taught, from girls to women, a completely different approach. You're taught to run towards, he's taught to run away until you finally beat him over the head. To actually, it's insane that you are beating a man over his head to marry you into a system and an institution that does not benefit you. That's why we say the women need deprogramming, because you are literally running towards something that doesn't benefit you. You're running towards your greatest threat. You live in a system where the women are oppressed, and they are oppressed by men. But then you have the men saying, we're your protectors and your providers. But the intimate violence rate says that's a lie. It's another lie you've been told. And then the other lie is create a baby for 10 months. And when you have the baby, give the baby his last name. Because in this upside down world, paternity matters. Paternity only matters in terms of ownership. That's your baby. How much do you want to bet if men would stop around here sticking a fertilizer hose in everybody, trying to fertilize every seed they come in contact with? They're running on survival, and they're hoping some one of us will reproduce him and give the baby his last name so he can live on another generation. He's operating in pure survival mode. All he cares about is fucking and money, and hates that you want his money. He hates that you want his money, but he knows he can't have access to you without it, except for the ones who are in it for love. It's a scheme. When I tell you, it's the biggest scheme that Todd has set up to come to all of us with the bullshit. If you don't see how it's upside down, I don't know what other examples. I don't know what other examples to give you. My life coach never misses. Being a good girl gave me nothing. I made my sons watch the love stories and romanticize connection. Now they love with their whole hearts and respect women. There's hope, but please raise and protect good men, ladies. Good job. I need an extended version of this. Please continue. Tissues and lotion. Not me. My brothers raised me. Never play fair in an unfair world. Word. Most men, not all men, teach your sons how to love proper. This is how you have to approach it. Somebody in the comments was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're promoting the message. Yes, all men, and you're raising sons." That kind of shit doesn't work with me. You can't guilt me into ignoring their socialization. I know plenty of mothers who said they raised their sons a certain way, and when their sons left their homes, they got into a den of wolves and became somebody completely different. So, yes, I can have my fingers crossed. Yes, I can give them the counter of what I know they're going to be met with in a society full of men. I know what they're going to be met with, and hopefully they hear my voice when somebody tells them some weird bullshit that men tell each other, men tell younger boys and men about how to relate to each other, how to relate to women, how to relate to children, how to relate to young girls. So I can say, yes, I'm raising these boys to do bop, 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 bop. But when I'm my hands are up like this and I'm done raising and he's out in the wild, I can only hope that, like Luke heard Ben, I can hear your voice telling me, oh, don't do that, because didn't your mother tell you that they were going to tell you this? Didn't she tell you a lot of what men tell each other does not benefit them? Didn't she tell you that? Listen to what this man is telling you. This is what your mom told you about. I hope that happens. But if not, There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I only have what I'm only able to control the environment in which they live. And this is what goes on in this house. But when they leave the home, my only hope is that they this is my only hope, right? Like Leia sending a message. You're my only hope. Sending a message to Ben Kenobi. Yes, we need some help down here. The dark side is in here taking over. I can't do nothing. So until it's always going to be yes all men, because I know how men are socialized, and I know that men lean into their socialization because it benefits them for you all to think that they're the prize. It benefits them for you all to be like, I don't even want my last name. I want his last name. You don't know nothing about his fucking family. Nothing about his family. You don't even know his great grandmother's name. Does he know his great grandmother's name? You have no you signing on to a family with a lineage you know nothing about. That could never ever happen ever. But when you get married for love, doesn't matter. We need to do a background check on this motherfucker's family. Y'all put more thought in picking your nail color than you do in checking up on these motherfucking men. It's nothing to pay $12 for a background check, $15. Do you know somebody that can look a nigga up? Well, I'm looking him up. We looking him up. We putting his face in the thing. Is this your man? Because he's on my line. Is this your man? 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 Girl, you want to know, don't you? Okay. Shit. Only in a system where that's upside down, where tell you that a motherfucker outside of yourself is the prize. Some man, some fickle ass man is the prize. Is the prize. No, you're the prize. You're in an upside down world. So you look in the mirror and you think you're incomplete because there's not a man there. That's upside down. That's upside down. Realize how much power you have. Inadvertently, they tell you you can emasculate us. That's what they tell you inadvertently. They let you know that you have the power to squish his whole life down into a cube, into a bouillon cube. I'll crush your whole life just with my words. I don't even have to use brute force, and I can rip you to shreds. Somebody you tell everybody that's lesser than you. I have the ability to emasculate you, to remove your masculinity from you. I have that power. That's how you know you're powerful. Because if a man tells you, I need you to behave a certain way in order for me to behave a certain way, his identity is dependent on your behavior. You have the power. His identity is dependent on your behavior. Put your baby's last name on your baby. Put your last name on your baby. Take your power back. I would be telling I know there's a millions of us who have our father's last name. There's millions of us whose children have their father's last name. And there's millions of us who wish they would have done a different route. Whether or not you can make a change in what is happening in your immediate circle, or you can let every other girl, your nieces, your younger cousins, let them know. Give the baby your well, if we're married, give the baby your last name. You're taking on the name and slapping the name on your creation. You don't even know this nigga's family. You just know this nigga's last name is Jones or Jenkins. You don't know nothing about the Jenkins from Texas or the Jenkins from Illinois. You don't know nothing about that family. And you so happy to take on somebody's last name who don't know a goddamn thing about their family. And then when it's all said and done, because it's not going to last forever, now you running around with the crest of somebody else's family on your door. It should be yours, and your children should run around with your crest. Hello, you don't know that family. You don't know the Jenkins from Chicago. Who the fuck are they? And what have they been into? Do you know anything about your great grandparents? No. Well, girl, how you marrying somebody that don't know they family because they done showed you some shit in a rom com where it's us, it's me and you against the world. You don't need to know my family. It's me and you against the world. The whole goddamn family is like the fucking motherfuckers on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You don't know shit about them motherfuckers. And so happy to take on somebody else's last name. I'll be damned. So whether or not you're able to do it now, you don't have to feel any kind of way because that's how you were socialized. You didn't know until you knew. So and don't beat yourself up for not knowing something. Not being because all of us were programmed a certain way, socialized a certain way, conditioned a certain way. No, you don't give nobody that's your creation. Don't even let them niggas name your babies. Girl, please. You don't deserve to have offspring. This is my baby. And if you about that life, let's go to court then. Niggas, half of them niggas, the majority of them niggas ain't going to court. Now, if they petty and got some time on their hands, they don't have the money either. So if they petty and got some time in their hands, you might be in it with somebody. But the majority of them niggas ain't going to no court because they afraid of the white man. So as far as they can stay away from a courthouse, they don't give a fuck if it's for child custody. They don't give a fuck if it's for a ticket. I'm not going near that courthouse. So whatever you want to do, baby, you got it. Because we ain't going to court. I'm not going to no courthouse. Niggas don't want to be in the courthouse. They don't want to. They don't want to come up against the white man. Keep the white man out my pocket. Why? So you can be inconsistent and you can teach your child inconsistency? No. Todd wanting everybody's last name to be to be Tucker. Even Riley. Girl, please. Please. Why would everybody in this household change their last name to Tucker? And 11 years later, you're not even in the house anymore. So now we got to change all our names back? No, our mama's name is Burris. Everybody's a Burris in this motherfucker. Because we can't count on you being around forever. So what we know is that our mama's last name is Burris. The baby's last name is Burris. Mama's last name is Kelly. Baby's last name is Kelly. Most people are undeserving of their offspring, men and women alike. You see Krishan, undeserving of offspring. Blueface, undeserving of you have no business. No child deserves to be under the guidance, parental guidance of those two idiots. No child deserves that at all. Anyways, I gotta go because this is already 30 minutes. I think this video is going to be long. But take care of each other. I want y'all to hear what Tamika Mallory said about Nicki Minaj. We're going to come back. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let me know what you think of the topics. Let's get down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Thanks. Peace.